Well, hello and welcome. I'm doing my best Ryan impression, but I can't keep that up for more than the 2 words. Welcome to Wildspace. I am not your usual host, Sean. I am going to be running us a little one shot tonight. With us is the usual suspects. We are going to be playing a spooky horror space themed one shot. I'll get more into that in a bit, but let me go ahead and do some announcements on things that are coming up. We had over the last week our newest episodes of Wonderworld Origins and Lords of Misrule, both of which will be up on YouTube on Wednesday. So check those out there if you missed them. If you're not a subscriber and can't listen to the VODs, highly recommend you do. It's the best way to stay up to date with all of our most recent streams. We also have our newest episode of Cyberscape coming out on Wednesday. That's going to be our 6th session, I believe. And that we've been having a lot of fun making that too. Links to all of our stuff, all of our projects and shows and everything going on is on our website, ggk.smvi.co. I'm keeping this as quick as possible. I don't think I have any announcements. We're going to go through kind of the rules here in a second, so I want to breeze through this. Does anybody else have any announcements or anything that I missed? Anything coming up that you want to plug? No. Okay. Alrighty. So the game that we're going to be playing tonight, I have very originally called Dead Space. Patent pending. To give the gist of it, it's the general premise of the game is going to be a group of relatively normal people, military professionals, not magical, not super in any way, not the predestined sort of heroic archetypes that we have in our usual Wildspace game, but instead a bunch of sort of average Joes and Jolene's trying to survive a really terrible situation. The game itself is pretty basic. It's based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system, so 2d6. You roll those. You get the full success if you roll 10 or higher, mixed success 7 to 9, total failure if you roll a 6 or less. And then depending on what you roll, the players, if you roll the total success, you get to describe how you achieve victory in that situation. When you roll on a failure, I take the reins and very bad things happen. Now, this game is a bit different from typical kind of your traditional RPG in that my goal by the end of the session is for most, if not all of you, to be dead. Because we are sort of basing this off of like the Dead Space, Alien, Doom sort of genre. Again, military team going in to handle a situation. Everything goes terribly wrong and everyone begins to drop like flies. The cool part about this game is that instead of having people as they die just leave the table and have to leave the session, there's a mechanic for infected players who choose to turn, because it is a choice. You do get to make that decision. We'll get more into that, I think, in gameplay. But they get to take actions and do things to try to mess with the surviving players as members of the new like hive mind of the infected individuals. So what we're going to do to start, so I can get you guys talking, is we're going to choose our roles. So there are 5 roles available in the game. I won't go into the details because we'll do that once you guys select who's going to be what, but there's the mercenary, the engineer, the researcher, the deacon, and the rookie. And there's no requirement that you guys all have to be someone different, but I really like you guys to all pick a different class because I think that'll be more fun. So does anybody just itching? Anybody see something they really want to play?
I really want to be a deacon.
You want to be the deacon? Okay. Why don't you read off what the deacon's deal is, or what their ability is?
So the deacon has -1 body, -1 mind, and will +2. He has 3 hold and can spend 1 hold to remove 1 stress.
Okay, so the bringing in a couple things. So there's 3 stats in the game: body, mind, and will. Pretty much do exactly what you think they'd do, and we'll roll those kind of. Again, everything's sort of loose, ephemeral, kind of basically very interpretive based on the situation. So the deacon is more, I guess, more willing, more able to deal with the stresses and the things going on in the game. Has a better, stronger will, not as good with the guns and the shooting and the running and the fighting. But there's a mechanic in the game called stress. So as you fail on rolls and bad things happen, you'll gain points of stress. When you can have up to 3 stress points, and at some point in the game when something really terrible happens, a point where you would take damage or maybe face like a really a perilous situation where you could die, you'll roll a stress check. If you succeed, or if you roll high on the stress check, a 10 or plus, a 10 or higher, your character is going to be out of commission. That's it for the game. And that's what you're rolling the 2d6 and adding whatever your stress points are to that. So, and at that point is when you maybe become infected or take a heroic sacrifice. So the deacon has the ability to spend up to, you have 3 holes or 3 points, resources, and you can spend one of those at any point in the game to remove someone's stress, making them live, hopefully, a little longer. So that's kind of your classic healer. Cool. So write that down. I think I gave you guys all handouts to put that down in. And let's move on to somebody else before we get to the gear and the fears. So anybody else who wants to go next?
You want to roll for the rest?
If you guys are going to be difficult about it.
Or does anyone?
I'll pick one.
Okay.
I think I want to play the mercenary.
Mercenary? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the mercenary's deal?
Target +1 on rolls made against infected.
Okay. And then you're also +2 body,
yes.
-2 mind, and 0 will. So you are very, very good at body stuff, which I guess I can do there's a quick reference stats on the page, but body is related to fighting, sneaking, running, lifting, things like that. Mind is to perceiving, recalling, investigating. Will is to enduring, resisting, inspiring, things like that. So the mercenary is kind of your classic bruiser. You probably have more weaponry than most and are going to be killing lots of things that need to be killed. Cool. Next.
What about you, Ox?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the engineer.
Engineer. Okay.
So they got +1 body, +1 mind, -2 will, and they have the tech savvy trait, +1 to rolls to use, operate, or repair technology.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically this being a very tech heavy system, space travel, spaceships. I mean, we're all familiar with Wildspace here. So anytime you're encountering any piece of technology that might be useful, you're going to get bonuses to doing that. So cool. And repairing stuff in this game will probably be very, very useful. Okay, so that leaves us with 2 classes left and 2 peeps.
Okay. I'll take researcher because I know if I take rookie, I'm just gonna do the cold voice again.
You don't want to do that.
And so I'm trying to.
It's been so long since we've seen cold.
But not the voice. The voice is everywhere. So I'll do research.
Okay.
Which the researcher -2 body, +2 mind, will 0, and their skill is being prepared. You have 3 hold, spend 1 hold to give a character +2 on a roll, which I assume is like me telling them about something they're about to do that apparently might give them an advantage.
Yeah. You're ready for the situation, and you have the widest sort of background to pull from. So yeah, assisting other people is your forte. So that just leaves us last with the rookie, my favorite of the classes.
I hope I don't die first.
Which Morgan will be doing.
The rookie is the best one. The best.
All right, what's the rookie's deal, Morgan?
So the rookie has 0s on everything. They're just flat neutral. But each time a teammate dies or turns, you add a +1 to a stat.
Yeah. So the rookie's deal is kind of, again, I'm pulling from the archetype that kind of takes place in all of these shows or movies and games is you're the character who has the least experience on the team, doesn't really have a niche to fill, just sort of the average Joe. And as the game goes on, if you're able to survive, you're just going to get better and better until you're the biggest badass at the end. But obviously,
we'll see how it goes.
But
or
obviously,
you
you're
die first.
Yeah.
And so it kind of can fulfill either archetype of the
Yeah.
rookie.
Yeah. And then thus inspiring everyone to survive the rest of it, because that kid shouldn't have died, shouldn't have gone out like that. Okay, so you guys all have those. You can write it down. Hopefully come up with names at some point in the next 5 or so minutes, so we can get those too. I won't ask until we're at the very end, so just start thinking about that. So let's go ahead and do the second 2 bits. So the next part of the game is each character gets to create a piece of gear that they have, something integral to their character. You get to describe a piece of gear that is carried by your character. It could be a computer, a knife, body armor, compass, something like that. As complicated or as simple as you want. And you just describe it to the group. You put it on your sheet, and then the next time or at some point in the session, sorry, I'm forgetting my own system. So you put it on your sheet, and then you write next to it, body, mind, will, or stress. So you put something on there that you want it to benefit you. However, that piece of gear is going to help you in the session. During the session, in lieu of rolling one of those checks, at any point you choose, you can cross out that gear, rendering it inoperable. You've used it, it's gone. And treat the outcome as a full hit, or so a 10 plus. Or if you chose stress, a full miss, so you succeed on that stress roll. Let's, I guess, go the same. I'm just going to go left to right on my screen now that I have it, since you guys have all.
I know what I want, if that helps.
So, and perfectly, you are the left on my screen. So, Savannah, what do you want?
Can I have a katana?
There's no reason why you can't.
Okay, I have a katana.
Okay. You have a katana.
Thank you.
Passed down
I
to
like
you
this game.
by your sensei or whoever. So
Told
yeah,
it
you
1,000 times by the
yeah. So the katana, what do you want that helping you with? I'm assuming body, but it could be whatever.
Yes.
It could be your safety katana, and it just helps with your stress when you hold it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my extra katana. Can I have 2 katanas? One that I just use for flavor, and then one that is my special katana.
your flavor katana.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the katana. Yeah, we'll just say you can have whatever you want. It's just you only get to benefit from that ability once. So
I'll say
this is my formal katana.
yeah, this is my ceremonial.
you could say it has some sort of magical or technological property to it that malfunctions after you specific use. So a button on it that sends it into overcharge, and then after you use it, it fizzles out, and you're not going to be able to use that again. Something like that. So, or you can have 2, and one of them's just real fragile. But okay. Okay, cool. So you've got that. Next on my screen is Alex.
Yep, so a bit like what Sap was going for, I think the engineer has an Omni tool a la Mass Effect that just interfaces with everything, but it has one charge that lets it just like overclock and brute force its way through whatever system, supercharge a thing, but it only has enough energy to do that once.
Okay, I like that. So like you want to go with a mind?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Travis.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with giant rubber surgical gloves.
Okay. And
big, all the way down to the elbow, maybe a little past it. Yeah,
okay.
really.
And what do you think what's that going to help you with?
It's definitely going to help me not get infected as much, because I got to keep the sickness away. Like, that's important.
Okay. You think it's going to be a stress roll then to keep yourself alive, or do like a body roll
I think
to help?
Probably going to be it'd probably drift more towards stress, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. That definitely works.
So calm,
yeah.
they're comforting to me to know
Yeah.
that I've got this barrier.
No, I like that because when you use those on a stress roll, when you auto succeed, it's going to give you a chance to like rally and remove a point of stress and kind of keep yourself going. So, and stress is sort of the general term for just survival. So that'll keep you from getting infected. Okay. So yeah, I like that. Okay, so next is Morgan.
Okay, I think this rookie has like a sort of like a backpack that just has like a bunch of random stuff in it because they don't know how to prepare correctly, so they just have a bunch of stuff in a bag. So I feel like that might be maybe it's like a bunch of like, I want to apply to body, but I'm like trying to think like what would help with that. If people get injured, does body apply there? Like if it was like a first aid kit or something.
So if somebody got injured and you were trying to help them through it or something like that.
Yeah.
I would typically put that probably more towards either the will or the mind roll.
Okay.
Depending on the situation.
Okay, then yeah, will. Let's do that one.
Will. Okay.
So I got this backpack that's just I got a bunch of first aid stuff in it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then so last would be Ride.
You're muted.
But so what I'm thinking is some kind of medicinal like ventilator or something like that. Just like I think that my character has like really awful lungs, and so there's like this thing that they have that gives them kind of like a shot of oxygen, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But basically just kind of like a face mask to just put it over, but it doesn't have oxygen for very long. But it's kind of like meant to kind of counteract this, like some sort of like space disease that they have.
Okay.
Space diseases.
Yeah.
We're going to have a conversation.
So what do you think?
I can't have your gloves. What was I going to do?
What are you thinking for the roll then?
I think body.
Body. Okay.
Only in very specific situations, but
but like helping them overcome some sort of obstacle when they're okay, cool. So that's it for that. So the last mechanic before we get started is defining your character's fear. So you're going to describe your character's greatest fear about the current mission, which we're going to RP kind of you guys getting into this mission right now, but essentially you're about to enter a derelict space station and have to go through it. So write down one of your character's greatest fear, what they're the most anxious about in the upcoming mission. And if you encounter this situation, which I'm going to do my best to make sure you guys all encounter your situations, you are going to add +1 to any stress roll you make during that encounter. But if you survive, you reset your stress to 0 and you add +1 to any stat for the remainder of the game. So I'm going to start again from Savannah, and if you have your character's name, go ahead and give that to me too.
Okay. I was not as prepared for this one.
Okay.
But I'm going to make something up. My character's name is Felicia Carter, call sign Viper.
Damn. Okay.
Say that one more time, please.
Felicia Carter, you can call her Viper.
I like that.
Oh
I think... What is she afraid of? I think Viper is claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic. Okay.
That's really general.
No, I think that works. General means it's more likely to come up, so that helps. It doesn't have to be something super specific, but yeah, I like that. And I think somebody said this in the chat. We're going to go by surnames for the characters, so you'll go by Carter or
no,
Viper.
I'll go by Viper.
Go by Viper. Okay.
Carter is but like acceptable.
Okay. Your superiors might refer to you as Carter,
which none of you are.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So next is Alex.
Okay. So character name is Lucius McDougal. Still trying to come up with a call sign. I think Chrome Dome.
Okay.
And he probably embraced that and eventually started shaving his head, but it's more because he is the techie for the group.
Okay.
And I think his fear is he is so into technology and so much a believer of it. I mean, look at all this great stuff it's let us do. It's let us travel the universe, all this stuff. If technology just doesn't work at all, it freaks him out.
Okay. So, like, specific, I guess, like your technology specifically, like malfunctioning or.
Yeah, I think because obviously he'll run into stuff that is just broken or inert, but if like the technology he's using doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, because I was thinking if it's just general technology malfunction, you're gonna have a real hard time during like the microwave isn't working. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah, no,
something like that. I shouldn't make jokes about that, but yeah, so we'll go with that. That gives me a little bit more to work with then, because yeah, that'll be great. So McDougal, aka Chrome Dome. All right, so Travis.
We got Viper, Chrome Dome, and Privyet, I am Dr. Petrov. And I fear disease more than all things.
Disease. Okay. Definitely gonna get that at some point. So do you have a call sign too?
Just Dr. Petrov.
Just Dr. Petrov. Okay, that's fair. You're probably not. We don't have to say that you're military. You could be like a scientific advisor or something like that, or some sort of doctor that's with the team. Maybe not.
Figure most people are just going to call me doctor.
Yeah, I think that Doc. I like that. I'm gonna just add Doc there just in case. Okay, so Morgan.
I'm thinking. Let's see. Felix Kepler.
Okay.
Is the rookie, and he's afraid that he will not be able to follow a direct command. Like someone will give him a command and he won't be able to follow it.
Okay.
Because he's trying to.
Succinct way of writing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of a better way.
No, I like it. I'll just make it a little more generic.
Yeah. Won't follow orders.
Yeah. So difficult or commands.
Yeah. Because they want to like.
Dependable.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can work with that. It's a little more, again, a little more abstract. I can work with it.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a call sign or do you think you're just rookie?
Probably just rookie. Whatever you guys give him.
We'll come up with some nicknames for you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. And then Ryan.
I'm gonna go by Ramirez.
Okay.
And fear of burning to death.
Okay.
Or fire general, I guess.
All right.
Because I'm thinking of the Apollo 13, the first scene in that where he's like,
yeah,
know?
yeah. No, it's a huge fear. I think is getting stuck in these oxygen-rich environments and in space and having a spark or something. Yeah, no, that'd be great. Do you have a call sign?
No, I don't think so. If I need to have one, like brain, I guess.
Brain. Oh, I just wrote Brian. That's not it. Okay.
Just Brian.
Ramirez, call sign Brian. Oh man,
that's it for now.
All right. I have all those down. I think we are. Does anybody have any questions before we get going?
What is our mission?
I'm going to get to that in a second. So let's get started then. So before I give the sort of opening scene here, you are all members of the Concord military, or you're members of the Concord in one kind of overarching military subunit. Specifically, your unit is referred to as the Concord Rapid Sector Enforcement and Deterrence Squadron, also referred to as the Cursed Squad. You are tasked with some of the most difficult missions that the Concord can drum up. Specifically, missions in sectors that are too dangerous, too deadly to sort of send full military units into. Kind of think Suicide Squad-esque. But I actually need one other piece of information from you guys. Who is the leader of your team, of your squad, or the commanding officer?
Well, it's gotta be Kepler, right? Just kidding.
That would be hard to justify.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say either. What makes sense to me is either Doc or me.
Okay. You guys want to arm wrestle over it?
You want to just?
I don't feel like Petrov is a leader type in my mind, so I'm gonna.
More of a robot guy.
He's more of a robot guy.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, I'll be leady, unless someone wants to fight me. Cut my head off with the katana.
No, I'm just wondering what the chain of command is after that, or if/when they are taken out of commission.
Oh, yeah. I think you guys are such a small unit. I don't know. I think it's probably done more based on seniority at that point, not necessarily formal titles. So, again, that's up to you guys. I
mean, I'd say Brian is the brains, but no one questions Viper. Like...
yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Okay. So we'll say, Ramirez, you are the officer in charge, commanding officer for this mission. You have been sent, or currently were tasked to, on a bit of a rescue mission. Things were kind of slow around Uval Station. And you were tasked with, there was an SOS beacon that was being picked up from some sort of derelict cruiser not too far from your current location. We pick up after that mission. You went, investigated it. The cruiser itself was... again, was derelict. There was nobody on board. There were signs of some sort of attack that you couldn't quite identify the culprits or the origin of the attack, and you were on a pretty short range kind of transport shuttle with the squad, so not enough to really make it much further, do much more investigating. So we pick up on 3211.3.18, just outside of Uval Station. You are currently en route back to the station itself, and I think we get this cinematic intro shot of just the blackness of space, a few stars out in the distance, maybe a distant planet kind of shaped by the sun or the star beyond it, giving a little bit of this halo in the darkened sky, and we just get this silent image of your cruiser panning across the screen. We pick up after it as it just silently glides through the inky blackness of space in its direction, and it's towards its trajectory. So we pick up inside the vessel as you are all doing whatever you do after a mission. Again, I would assume most of you are probably bored, a little bit kind of maybe Viper a little bit with an itchy trigger finger at this point. Didn't get the action that you were expecting on this mission.
Yes, that trigger on my katana.
I mean, do you just have katanas?
Katana? No, I think I probably have guns too.
Okay, because things are going to be different. I'm also making the general assumption that most of you guys have firearms of some sort. Yes? If you just
No, I don't. No, I also have a gun.
That's fine. You can make that choice. I want to hold you to that choice.
No, I have a gun.
It could be a Final Fantasy VI gun katana, or 8.
What we need. Can we have that in every single program that we do?
Gun katanas.
You want a gun katana?
Yes. That's up to you.
No, I have a gun.
Okay.
I guess it could be gatana. That's a little bit more.
Probably rolls off the tongue a bit better.
Yeah.
So
okay.
sorry. Continue.
So you're currently en route back to Yuval Station. When I assume that Ramirez and who else would be flying the ship? Maybe McDougal as the pilot and being the engineer. You guys are in the cockpit right now, and there is a on your display interface. I think there is a red light that begins to flash, and a distress beacon is picked up from the direction of Yuval Station.
What's that about?
I don't know, let me dial it in and, start opening up whatever chat log there is, pop out the alert window.
Yeah, it comes up and the audio comes up on screen with the text displaying underneath it. And it says, "Urgent message. All Concord and civilian units. By order of Commander Cooper Cashew, you are ordered to evacuate this sector immediately. Code 64 Delta Indigo 8 Omicron. Urgent message. All Concord and civilian units," and just begins to repeat over and over again.
Can you send out a signal, see if we can get in touch with any other Concord forces in the area?
Yep, give me a minute, and I'll start sending out the hey, double checking. Is this a false alarm? What's going on? What's the sitch?
Okay. I think you send out the message, and the AI interface that all of you have interfaced into your comm systems, Ava is what you are referred to her as, says,
Ava.
says, "No response. No units in sector. Yuval Station offline."
We were just there.
And I kind of hit the comms guy. Code yellow. Everyone ready up?
And Dr. Petrov was playing a game on a little iPad in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, finally!" And he hits the button to close it and sets it down. Kind of walks into the main area, "What's going on?"
I don't know yet. Got a stress call coming from the actual station. I don't know what to make of it, but we're trying to get someone on the comms right now. We've got nothing at the moment.
Maybe we should go check it out.
I mean, unless you say otherwise, Ramirez, I'm setting a course back to Yuval.
Yeah, and at this point, actually, you really have no other options. Your shuttle couldn't get you anywhere else except for Yuval right now. So we hit you. Again, Ava continues to try to make contact or send out a pinging the station or any other cruisers or vessels that might be nearby, and you're not getting any response from anyone. So what happens is you come around planet side, entering an orbit or kind of trailing Yuval Station's orbit towards where you know the station to be. And I think you begin to, there's maybe a bit of a little pit in your stomach as you begin to know there is some debris in this sector that you weren't expecting, that wasn't there before, that shouldn't be there. And then as you come around planet side and begin to approach the station, again illuminated by the nearby star, you see Yuval, and it is not a pretty sight. The station itself appears to have taken heavy damage. You see debris orbiting, dozens of destroyed ships encircling it. And you notice one other thing. The arc gate is nearby, which is a fair distance from the station, but is close enough for you to see, is also inactive. It is currently dark.
That's not supposed to be like that.
Does it look like to you, Chrome Dome?
I mean, the arc gate should never be shut down except in the worst emergencies.
Station looks bendy.
Well, yeah, the station's also all messed up, but the arc gate's down. Oh boy.
Viper, Rook, stop dragging ass. Get yourself up here.
I think around that time, Kepler comes in. He's wearing like some big headphones and stuff, and it's just like hasn't even heard anything on the comms yet. But it's just like
it's his first day, and he's already just goofing off.
Yeah,
I like the idea of Kepler like walking by, and Petrov just kind of holds out his hand. Oh, he holds out his hand, and like Kepler just like walks past him, but his hand like hooks the headphones, and they just kind of come off.
I like it.
Get your head out of clouds. Look, station broken. We must fix.
What happened? What happened to the station?
I don't know. Chrome Dome, you see if you can get any a fix on any ports that might not be damaged. Someplace we can board.
Yep, on it. Ava, help me out and start taking our shuttle around looking for a mostly undamaged docking port.
I think about this time I casually walk in. Totally stone-faced, clearly in the middle of like, I don't know, like cleaning my sword or something. Just like walk in.
This blade as you're walking.
Don't say anything. Just like look at Ramirez and then just like sit down and keep doing whatever I was doing.
All right, everyone. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen a gate go dead like this. I don't know what we're going to do 3 steps from now, but I do know that for right now, we need a new ship or to refuel this. We've got a distress call coming from the station. We need to see if we can locate any survivors. And then hopefully find an answer to what's going on here so we know what to do next. By the looks of the station, it can get pretty hairy. So, time to gear up, do what we do.
Like Captain.
I hate space stations.
You're in the wrong line of work, Viper.
I think at this point too, so Anna has Ava long show. Ava has locked on to a one undamaged docking bay that it looks like it would currently sustain Atmo and you'd be able to enter and unload. But you also get one other transmission. So that distress beacon is coming in, but you see text appear on your screen, and there is an encrypted transmission that is being broadcasted by the station. It requiring Concord high-level security clearance to open, clearance that Ramirez does have.
Okay. I'll take it on my personal data pad and open it up, entering in my passcode.
Okay. You open it up. It is a a short text document broadcast to any Concord militia or any Concord personnel that might have survived the incident, and it specifically references tasks, what you are to do given this situation. The current situation is very light on details, does not say what happened to the ship, but it does give you the orders to retrieve the station data core from the bridge and to enforce quarantine protocol.
All right. Do we have any... Do I know precisely what that entails?
Quarantine protocol?
Yeah. Like, do we avoid survivors?
It would...
And not put them on our ship?
Yes, it would be that no one that is currently on station should leave the station, especially those that are could have potentially been exposed to any sort of pathogens.
So, do we have like suits on the ship that we could like reasonably think that we could navigate through the station?
Yeah, I don't actually. I think it's probably more sophisticated than that. I think you probably have some like very like personal like I want to say like Atmo devices or barrier device, something that you can integrated with your own suits that can prevent any airborne or nearby sort of infections, anything except for like bodily contact.
Okay. All right. As we're kind of, I guess, approaching the airlock, it's be like, all right, well, there's a change to the mission. We have to pick up the data core from the bridge. Get it back to home base. And we're operating on quarantine protocols.
Ah, hell.
Felix probably pulls out a little book and like tries to like go through.
Quarantine protocols.
Yeah. It's like, what is this?
Q.
Boss, I don't like this. A lot of corners, a lot of hallways. A lot of places to hide.
I know. That's our job, though. Let's just all watch each other's six. Keep an eye on corners. Keep an eye on our backs. I was mistaken. We are not collecting any survivors.
All right.
What if they try to come with us? I mean, what do we do?
We do what we have to preserve the integrity of this mission.
So what he's saying is, I think we have to shoot them or something, you know.
I prefer not to use lethal force if we can avoid it.
But we will if we have to.
I'll do anything if I have to.
Understood.
That's my man.
All right.
At this point, there is a shadow that is cast over the ship as you enter the open docking bay. You see the gates have parted, and you pass through them. They begin to close behind you, and you enter the blackness of this interior docking station, this loading bay, and the ship kind of jostles for a moment as it sets down in its position. But as far as you can tell on all the windows right now, the station does not appear to have anything except for emergency power, so enough to keep the life support running and the critical station functions. So lights right now are not working.
All right, y'all, we're going dark. Get your goggles on. Or do we have those?
Yeah, sure. You guys pretty much have any tech that you can think that somebody in a movie like this would have.
Okay.
Yep.
So montage scene of us all gearing up. Put
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of buckles snapping.
yeah,
and
buckles snapping,
Zip.
body armor, combat knives.
guns cocking unnecessarily. Yeah, knives
Going
being
up-
pulled out of sheaths and then being stuck back in.
Going over to Rookie, unbuckling one of the buckles they buckled and buckling it correctly.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I feel like we all should have shoulder mounted lamps or cameras. One or the other to fulfill that archetype.
here's what I like as far as I think you all have you all have goggles with an interface on them. And I think on the edges of that interface, you can see the pictures coming in through everyone else's goggles as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you guys all have visual on everything everybody else has visual on.
So I take back, I don't want us to have night vision. I do want lamps. I feel
Lamps.
like that works better for the tone of this.
I like that. So yeah, and then your headsets have like the little lights on the side
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
flashlights
yeah.
on the side, giving you just enough vision as the doors of the cruiser or the shuttle open with a hiss. There we go. And you step out into the darkness inside the station.
Okay.
Music change.
I think first thing Chrome Dome is gonna pull up the station schematics, show like you are here, bridge up here, just show like, okay, this is the path we should take, assuming everything is in working order. We'll see if things are.
Can we say Ava's dumped onto your Omni tool, or at least interfaces with it?
Yeah, I assume she's still in the comm system.
Yeah, Ava, you all have communication with Ava right now to pull any information you might need.
Oh yeah, Ava, lock up the ship.
Yes, Captain. And the doors close behind you.
Don't open for anyone besides authorized personnel.
Affirmative.
I don't know if we're coming back this way. Hopefully, we can find a different ship. Should we? I'm the leader. I shouldn't ask a question. I should just make a statement. McDougal, need you to include within your breakdown of the ship's layout. I need you to also find out where fuel reserves might be located, any operating ships in the area. We can collect this data core, but it might make more. It'd be helpful if we knew how far we had to carry it.
Got it. I'll start a scan and hit a few buttons, make a few gestures, whatever, and have it start scanning for either still intact ships or trying to find where refueling ports would be on the station.
Okay, so I think this is what happens. You pull up the station's blueprints on your display, and they come up in this three-dimensional shape, and you watch as one by one different sectors are sort of illuminated in red as Ava marks sectors that have been breached, that have been locked down, have some sort of atmospheric breach or hull breach to them, and it is a large portion of the ship. You just see like dee. And I think you also see. So here's what you get as far as other ports or hangars that are currently in operation. This is the only one. You see hangars A through J, or however many there are, that are currently all offline. They show up one after another, offline. You see the bridge is currently online, is very far from your current positioning within the station, but does appear to be under lockdown. There is a another sector of the station between you and the bridge that is also under lockdown. I think it probably displays differently. The bridge is under lockdown from the interior, indicating that somebody, whoever the last person was in the station, or locked it from the inside. The sectors that are currently under lockdown are locked from the remainder of them are locked from the exterior, meaning people locked them on the way out. As far as the other thing you wanted was fuel reserves, someplace you can pick that up. I think the hangar you are currently in, its fuel reserves are depleted. They're gone. But one of the offline hangars, we'll just say hangar E, is currently, though it is offline, it does look like their fuel reserves are intact and could be retrieved. But you would have to get into the hangar and probably have to find a suit to do so. I think those are the main things that stick out as you survey the ship.
I'll quickly rattle off a couple other orders, like to Viper. I was like, Viper, keep a lookout. Rookie, stick with Viper.
You got it, Captain.
You point, I shoot.
Doc, see if you can try to find out the nature of whatever this outbreak is.
Already running scans, sir. And I think I've got like a little data pad up in front of me, and I'm kind of first looking for any signs of life, and I'm also looking for like disease and anything that could be pathogenic.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. So you begin to scan. I'm trying to decide. So maybe make a roll for the scans there. Yeah, let's have you go ahead and roll mind.
That's -1 from me. So I rolled a 5.
5. Okay.
Good first roll. You gave me first roll of the game.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Okay, so I think.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you. Well, no, I am going to give you a point of stress. So I think here's what happens in this situation. I think your scans come up. You get exactly what you're looking for. You see the on the display in front of you. I think you don't pick up any signs of life in your immediate vicinity. You do pick up there is some sort of organism, some sort of microbiotic organism that is present that is airborne around you, and it is everywhere as far as you can pick it up in your current location.
I think he says something like "Chakazalima," like he's like freaking out, and he says, "There's something." What am I doing? I'm going into French for whatever.
It's okay. There's Russians.
French Russian. It's good. It's good. He says there's something in the air. He's shaken. He says it seems like it's everywhere. It's all over me. And kind of loses it for a second there.
Okay. I'll call up to get a grip or get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, I think he's just going to do some breathing exercises and he's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you gain the 1 point of stress. And yeah, so what are you guys going to move forward now?
Yeah. McDougal, how about you and Viper take the lead? Rook, you and Doc in the middle. I'll take the rear.
Got it.
Don't fall behind.
Okay. So you proceed out from this hangar following the directions on your display, navigating the corridors that lead to, I think the first big area that you're going to encounter is one of the, I think there's like a civilian bay, some sort of for some commercial transport, and some of the civilian like residential area of the station is where you are going through initially, or that is where you are heading to first. And as the shutters open up, or actually I think you get up to the shutters, they are currently locked out and they're closed. I'm not going to have you roll for that. You have the ability to, there's nothing wrong with the tech, it is just locked from the outside. So you open it and proceed in, I gotta get my sci-fi door noise, there we go, and proceed through to the civilian bay. And it looks like there were riots in here. There is broken glass. Almost every pane of glass is broken from all the shop windows, everything else going on in here. There is debris. You catch, I think, towards... there are like tall spires, and see where where the residential areas kind of form against the interior of the station's design, and apartments and things like that lead up hundreds of feet. And I think there's one big splotch, like dark area, where it looks like there was a fire at some point. And there is just debris and everything cluttered the ground. There is also a lot of blood pooled up in areas surrounding the this sector.
Eyes out, weapons free.
I'm gonna start sweeping the room to see if there's anything alive.
Okay.
In here.
Go ahead and I'll have you make a mind check.
Whoa. Seven.
Okay, that is a success.
That's pretty good for a -2.
So here's what happened. Normally it'd be outcomes mixed, describe the outcome. So you're looking for people. So I think immediately you see motion to the to your left, kind of something ducking down an alleyway. And you like just catch it at the edge of your light, like a leg disappearing behind a wall.
Yeah, I'll point towards it with my light. Something's moving.
Keep our eyes up, but gotta head that way.
Petrov just takes a deep breath and continues to hold it.
Okay. And in case anyone doesn't know, weapons free means that you're allowed to, or that you're authorized to open fire if you hit to any target that's not immediately identified as friendly. Doesn't mean you have to do that. I'm just saying, like, there's an open, anytime you feel like you can, you have been authorized to so do.
So you begin to move towards the motion that you saw before, Viper?
I do, yeah. I'm gonna say, Chrome Dome, watch my back, and go that way.
Okay. You come up to the corner, and I think you hear some rattling behind there, like something moving amongst some debris around that corner. And as you come up to it, you begin to roll around it with your weapon drawn, and you see kind of immediately in your visual frame, there is a dog that is currently rooting through some trash there, and the dog like freezes for a moment and then lets out like a low growl in your direction before it continues like backing down the alleyway, and then it bolts.
Just a dog.
At that point, you hear the cocking of a gun to your left as a shaky arm holds a like a blaster pistol pretty much right up against your head, coming out from one of the broken buildings beside it. And I think they say, "Give me your stuff now."
I don't think you want to do that.
I think I very much do.
I really don't think you want to do that.
I think again, like you feel the gun kind of like, I think he's shaking so much, like the gun hits the side of your head for a second. He kind of steadies again and takes a step back. He says, "I mean it. I'll fire it. Won't be the first person I've shot today."
It will be the last.
Can we see or hear any of this happening?
Yeah, I think you all know this is happening at this moment with her display.
And with McDougal having gone up kind of not right with her, but the nearest one, would I have line of sight on this guy? Or
Yeah, I think you come circling around the corner and you can see him standing there as a human man with kind of like a big coat on that looks tattered. You can see blood stains kind of down his shoulder. He looks like he has a pretty nasty wound on his left leg and was probably limping. It's been tied off with a piece of fabric. And as he sees you, he keeps the gun trained on Viper, but begins to his head darts back, or eyes darting back and forth between the two of you and then the approaching rest of your squad.
I wait till the next time his arm starts to shake and I try to knock the gun out of his hand.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll, I'll say body, because this will be kind of going to fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
13!
That's very good. So yeah, what do you do?
I'm gonna wait until I can see him start to like tremor again, and then try to come up with my own arm and grab the gun out of his hand.
Okay, so you knock his arm to the side, twisting yours around his, kind of pointing the gun upwards as you grab onto his wrist and then yank. I think there is a flash of light and a dull kind of there was the sound of a blaster fire. I was going to say explosion, but that's not how this works. But there is the audible sound of a blaster discharging as he shoots straight up towards the ceiling. And begins to kind of cry out in pain as you easily disarm him at that point, his gun clattering to the ground.
Are you done?
I think you kind of shove him against the wall as you say that, and as his face is pressed against, he says, all right, stop.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm trying to survive just like anybody else.
Looting. Robbing corpses.
Ma'am, I'm just doing what I need to. Are you old Concord?
What's going on here?
This man tried to shoot me in the head.
What's your name?
He says, Jameson.
Jameson. What's going on here?
Listen, man, I'm just trying to get by. I don't know what's happening here. I have no idea.
You'll address him as sir.
All right, sir, ma'am. I don't know. Alarms went off. People started panicking. There was something about an evacuation. People went nuts. I got shot at some point, blacked out. I woke up. Everything was dark. People are acting crazy around here. Listen, if you just got here, you got a ship. Come on, you just got to take me. We got to go.
That's not happening.
What do you mean? Why would the Concord send people otherwise? Is this not a rescue?
No.
What the hell are you doing here then?
Wasting our time by the looks of it.
Listen,
You have nothing. You have no information to share with us right now. It's time we go.
No, listen, there are things out there. I know this sounds crazy, but there are things in the station, and I haven't seen any of them because I'd be dead otherwise, but there's something here killing people. And if you let me stay here, I'm going to die too.
Viper, come on. Let's get out of here.
Go back to your corner and stay there.
Come on, guys. You got to help me.
I got to do what my mission is. That's all.
I assume you took his gun.
Oh yeah, I super took it.
Yeah,
that's mine now. I have 2 guns now.
Yeah. So you back off. I assume weapons locked on him as he is still standing there in that hallway, looking, just panicking, legs shaking, sweat beating down his forehead. And I think as he sees you guys are going, his head quickly darts around and he goes running back down the alleyway, away from you guys.
All right.
Do you think he was telling the truth about there being something out here?
Well, it's never good when they describe what they've seen as things.
Yeah, we need to get out of here as quickly as possible. Petrov wipes sweat from his brow.
First things first. We need that intel.
Ugh.
You hear a sound echoing through the cavernous space around you, followed quickly by a shriek from the alleyway that Jameson just ran down.
Okay, back up. Let's keep moving.
Seems we've traded one problem for another.
Eyes out. Keep quiet. Let's keep moving the way we do. I'll keep an eye on her. So, and I'm kind of like just walking backwards with the lamp, with just kind of training my some kind of laser shotgun.
Okay.
Behind us.
So I think what you do is you continue moving across this large concourse here, and you reach the set of doors on the far side of the concourse that continue to lead towards the bridge. And as you watch your 6, everybody else proceeding through, I think just as the doors begin to close, you watch as something very large goes leaping from one building, probably a good 40 feet across, to another empty apartment space on the far side, and disappears into it.
Whatever it is, it's big.
Think there's more than one?
I don't know. We should assume that there is, though. And whatever it is, it's contagious. Whatever this thing is causing. We just got to keep moving.
Okay. You continue walking down this hallway, which leads to the next, I'd say the next largest sector, which is sort of another concourse with, I think, check-in stations for some of the transport ships that come through. It's a large, 3-tiered concourse that extends about, I'd say, a quarter of a mile of this space station. It's a large stretch of terrain to cover, but leads to the stairs and or lifts that would take you up to the bridge. And as those doors open, They meet a bit of resistance, and you hear a snapping noise as they open ahead of you. And there is like a cloud of like debris that seems to emanate from inside. And it's here that you see something that you've probably never seen before. The entire interior of this sector is covered in just ichor, gore and slime, and this black tendrils that seem to exude from every visible surface, snaking and twisting down support columns and across bridges and around small vehicles, covering every inch of space. It is disgusting, and it is very visibly the source of this, or one of the byproducts of this infection. You also see around you bodies that are caught up in this ichor, or this substance.
Ugh, it'll be yes. I think Petrov, his little cauterizing arm kind of folds out from his backpack and starts kind of burning muck in front of him, kind of just trying to get rid of it.
Like a little Roomba. Yeah. You can get, I think, all the tendrils and the stuff like spider webbing in front of you. It clears out those, and so you're not having to walk directly through. It does give you a little bit more of a path, but yeah, it is something else in here.
I've never understood how a doctor could be so easily disturbed.
Look at it. Have you seen anything like this before?
No.
That's right. It's disgusting. I'm a doctor. I work in clean environments, not this. Ugh. It's not okay.
You're not okay. I'm gonna go in.
Okay. You proceed in, heading down this again long stretch that leads to your next destination. Anything in particular besides the sweeping and the other stuff going on? Anything else?
I'm just watching for movement.
Okay. I think as you pass these tendrils and this ichor across the surfaces, I think you do, if you're looking for movement, you find it, because the substance itself seems to be, the walls seem to be almost breathing as they writhe under these masses of fleshy tissue. You get about 200 yards in, and you begin to hear other noises around you, things moving in the darkness, things that you're just catching. I think your light will hit a protrusion, and you'll watch as something will retract behind it. And it does seem like there are things moving around you. And then you come up to a blockade or some sort of blockage in front of you, and there are vehicles that are overturned and other bits of structure that have fallen here, and you see about 10 bodies here of Concord officers wearing their military sort of riot gear. Guns fallen to the side, kind of wrapped up in this ichor. The bodies are just lying there. Some of them are pretty gory, almost ripped open. Others of them just have puncture marks in the back, indicating they were stabbed and then fell over.
I'm relaying this back. I don't know how close behind me everyone is.
Yeah, just to let you know, those bodies that we're seeing in your camera feed, yeah, they're dead. Just to let you reiterate that.
I assume at least McDougal was, very close behind her, footsteps still taking point with her.
Seems we've got about 10
Yeah,
bodies.
and Rookie's behind McDougal.
All right.
And This is gonna sound weird, Captain, but I think the walls are breathing.
Is it alive?
It's something.
Looks organic to me.
Never seen anything like it.
Kepler's gonna like look down at the bodies and like just try to is like curious and kind of see if like to the stabbings were done with like a knife or a blade or something. Kind of like look at the puncture wounds and see.
Okay, make a mind roll. Yeah, I think you're investigating.
Mind. Okay. Oh, that's really good. 11.
11. Okay. Yeah, I think you learn a couple of things. You see the wounds caused on it seem to be some sort of like from claw marks or teeth marks. It looks like some sort of creature caused the damage to this, killed these officers. And you also notice as the fingers of the officer you're inspecting begin to twitch.
Gonna like jump back.
As the rookie jumps back, you all watch as the body begins to convulse in front of you and sort of writhe across the ground.
Shoot it!
You shoot it. Okay. You level a few shots into the body, and as it convulses a little bit more, eventually it lays stiff and rigid. It doesn't seem to move again. And then you watch as one of the bodies, I think, kind of among your group, maybe slightly behind you. I'd say Doc probably notices this first as the body is right in front of you. Suddenly, there is a shrieking noise and a cracking as the rib cage of this body sort of splays open. The joints snap back into like artificial legs.
Not supposed
and
to
no, not supposed to do that. And the body itself snaps upward and then lunges in your direction.
blah, blah, blah. And he, like, tries to dodge out of the way.
Okay. I'm gonna have you roll body to evade this.
All right. You're really having me do the good rolls.
I know.
Yeah, that's 5.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the body kind of snaps upwards and then it locks around Doc. I'm gonna have Doc. So you're gonna take a point of stress there.
Could I sacrifice my gloves for this?
You could. So your gloves would work on a stress roll, which I was about to have you make.
Okay.
So you could auto succeed on that if you want, and you can remove that point of stress that
I think I'm gonna auto succeed.
Okay. So you auto succeed on it, so you can negate the stress that I just gave you, and mark off your gloves. As I think you all fear the worst as this thing locks on around Doc, and you push against it, and you watch as Doc sort of pushes the creature off of him, probably cursing in Russian along the whole way. And you see you haven't taken any damage, or it didn't penetrate your suit, as your gloves were able to give you enough of a barrier between it. However, as you throw it off of you, you look down at your gloves, you see this slime covering them now, and you watch as it begins to sort of sizzle a bit in this corrosive effect, and you quickly rip the gloves off and throw them to the ground. That body now lunges back up, and the others begin to snap and bend too, as the other dead bodies around begin to animate as well. What would you all like to do?
Well, when Doc throws the first one away, Kepler's gonna shoot at it.
Okay.
That was a clear shot.
Okay. Roll body.
Body. Oh no. 9.
9. Okay, that succeeds. As a mixed outcome. So I think Rookie just begins to unload into just kind of panic, just firing into the crowd of creatures in front of you. I'm trying to think of what the mixed success here will be.
Just causing a ruckus, maybe.
Yeah, I think what happens is you unload, and there's this flashing of laser fire, and a number of these creatures, these infected, are just blown to pieces. You watch as along the walls, more begin to kind of crawl out from around. Some of them maintaining less of a human form and are just these amalgamations of bone and sinew that have formed these pseudo creatures, and begin to sort of like the scene with the goblins in Lord of the Rings, just begin to swarm down the walls and come towards you.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna. Can I look and see if there's a place that I think that we can get to where we can basically draw them into a choke, or into where we can like move the team to some place where we can force them into like a tighter. Because I see that we're about to be surrounded.
Yeah. Go to make a mind roll for me.
All right. It's not. Oh, that's my good stat too. So that's a 9.
9. Okay. I think you see. Okay. So your mixed result here is you see a like a chamber or a hallway that doesn't look to be covered in this substance, but it's a little bit farther away than you would want it to be, and you guys are going to have to move real quick to get over there.
Okay. I'll just shout out and like, on me! And then I'll just like kind of run toward, like, run in or not run that direction. Yeah, I see it first. So I'll just like run in that direction. I'm going to take out a grenade and just kind of like huck it at the wall, like just in the wall, maybe get stuck. I'm not really like, I'm just trying to like cause a ruckus. So I'm not expecting to do anything with this, but just like trying to buy some time as I'm running away.
Okay. All right. So you chuck the grenade behind you. I'm still gonna have you roll body for that.
Okay.
Because I could go real bad.
It is bad. It is a 4.
So yeah, you chuck the grenade behind you. I think it bounces off one of the pillars and then sort of ricochets back to your group. And it explodes, this shockwave hitting most of you and sending all of you kind of tumbling backwards along the ground as you're trying to flee towards this exit. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have, who would be towards the back? I think it would have been Rookie, probably Doc.
I was in the back.
You were in the back too. Yeah. So I think the 3 of you, I'm gonna have you roll Will. To keep moving. Yeah.
Oh my god.
10.
10. Nice.
Also 10.
Nice.
I rolled snake eyes. So I have 4.
Automatic death.
It's bad. So that's 2 big failures you rolled in a row. So I'm gonna have you. I think you've got 2 points of stress right now.
Okay.
As both of those have connected, have done I think a number on you and your party at this point. I'm not going to consider that a mortal blow yet, where you have to roll stress, but it's getting close.
Okay.
And the walls and some of the debris around begin to collapse on top of these infected as they're rushing towards you, and you all make it towards that choke point that you saw, and wheel back around on these approaching horde of infected. What do you do?
I want to look to see if there's some kind of doorway in here that I can rig to lock shut and stay closed.
Yes. So there is a door. It is currently kind of overgrown. It looks to have been overgrown with this debris, whatever this substance is covering the walls. So you hack into the console to try to maybe route more power into to force it closed. So I'm gonna have this be a mind roll for you.
Yep. And I assume +1 with tech savvy.
Yes.
Oh, that is that's a 9.
9. Okay. Mixed result. So I think here's what happens. You force the doors to this sector closed. Or whatever room you're in, which you haven't had a chance to explore yet, slams behind you. And you know for a fact this door isn't opening again. The servos, the gears, the things that lock it are not functional again. You routed everything you could into it to close this door, and you are now shut off in this room.
Well, nothing's getting through that door unless they break them down. And if that happens, we've got bigger problems to worry about. I will then check the map and see if there's another way out of here. Is there another door, or are we stuck with like the air vents at this point?
No, I think you're stuck with the air vents at this point. I think there is no doorway in here. The only thing you have is the air duct system in the ceiling that would lead to wherever you're going next.
Do we have to shed our lamps and body armor to fit into the vents?
No, I'll say you guys could fit. They're large air ducts for very sizable amount of airflow to come through this facility. So yeah, you guys can get through it with your stuff.
So,
but it is going to be cramped.
Yeah, before we're popping into the air vents, I think Petrov is going to pull out like a giant electromagnet out of his pack and walk over to Ramirez and start extracting shrapnel from his skin. I'm going to spend 2 hold to remove 2 stress.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
And as you do, the exit wounds sever an artery and
Oh no!
Yeah, you use your tech to remove the shrapnel from Ramirez, and I think there's probably some sort of like some like stitching material, some like bio like glue sort of that seals up or cauterizes the wounds.
It's liquid stitches. It just sprays right on. That's good.
Yeah.
liquid stitches.
And so you use the biogel to fix the wounds as well, so it doesn't keep bleeding. Okay.
Thanks, Doc. So you're telling me we have to go through the vents now?
Yep, it's our only way onward.
You're kidding.
If you want to break down those doors and go face all those, be my guest. But those doors aren't opening without a hell of a lot of brute force.
And you begin to hear slamming and scratching and hissing up against the doors, the outside. These are thick, like blast doors, but you can still hear this horde of creatures trying to get to you on the other side.
Fuck.
I don't think those are going to hold as long as we want them to.
Now we should get out here. Those things are terrifying.
Easy, Rook. Breathe.
I think McDougal's going to go over, like, hit a few buttons, make the vent pop down, and start moving crates, whatever, around so that we can climb up into it easily.
Yeah. This is vitally important to me, but what is the order going through the vents?
I can go. Well, I kind of need.
McDougal's going to go first.
McDougal should go first.
In the schematics.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one at a time through these vents.
I'm gonna go with McDougal.
Okay, I'll take up the rear, then I'll keep that up.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rookie's probably still staying behind McDougal, so...
I'm as close to second from the rear as I can be.
All right.
How about second from the rear?
Sounds right.
You all climb one at a time up into the comfy, cozy interior of these air vents, and begin to crawl your way through very slowly, knowing that you have a fair way. Now, my question is: so your map is navigating you. You could pretty much follow the length of this airway, the rest of this concourse to the other side, but that is probably still at this point an eighth of a mile to go through this air vent, which is a fair ways to go. There are some offshoots that lead into other sectors that on your map appear compromised. You don't know the exact state of them or what is compromised about them, but you wouldn't have to crawl as far. You can move a little bit faster, presumably, if you get out of the air vents sooner. So, and I assume you guys are not trying to get back into the concourse that you were just on.
Correct.
Okay.
So I think trying to find the nearest exit that is not covered in goo.
Okay. So there is an exit for I'm actually just going to ask for would a cryo bay be a thing in Wildspace?
I've heard cryo baby first, and I was like, I guess so.
Cryo bay
Is
Sure, why not?
be a thing.
yeah.
Baby. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going to say you go to the cryo baby, the NICU for the station.
Cryo baby. Get your
no, okay.
snowball babies over here.
So there is like a cryo bay that it isn't too
They'll
far.
be the coolest kids in school.
Yeah. So you begin to navigate that direction.
Cryo Baby is a jewelry store. Just waiting to happen.
Is it?
Ice
Oh,
ice-
you want that
ice-
ice?
Cryo Baby.
Okay. As you serpentine down this corridor, you cut a hard left, and I think the air vent kind of slopes a little bit upwards, and you begin to crawl in that direction. But you hear, after about probably 100 feet of crawling this way, you begin to hear more shrieking, kind of echoing from around you. You aren't sure if you're just catching the echoes coming through the air vents or if there's something in the air vents with you. However, before you can really think on that too much, there is a shift, and you feel the metal of the air vent give out from the weight of your combined group currently crawling through it. And one by one, you all go tumbling out into the, I think like an engineer's bay, some of the system maintenance shafts between the sectors, and you all kind of go rolling out. I think it collapses in the middle of your group, so probably the first ones to fall out are, I think it was Rook and Doc that were kind of towards the middle. I think the two of you go tumbling out first. I need... Yeah, I'm just going to have everyone make a... I'm going to say a body roll for this one.
Body, okay.
Ow.
That's a 9.
4.
That is a 4.
Also 4.
11.
And did you do your... Because you were in a stress situation, did you take... I think you do. If you encounter a situation, add +1 a stress roll. Okay, you haven't made a stress roll. That's right. I just need to remind myself of the rules that I wrote. Okay, you all go collapsing downwards. I think so.
So all of us who failed just got 1 stress, right?
Okay, so who rolled a full failure? I heard some 4s. And who rolled a mix?
Kids in the back.
Okay,
Mix.
and then a mixed success for Chrome Dome.
Yep.
And then a full success for Viper. Okay, so Petrov, Ramirez, and Rookie, you all go tumbling down into this main shaft. I think the 3 of you hit very hard a sort of catwalk between the some of the machinery that's kind of hidden between these sectors, you probably hear something pop, crack, snap along the way. Something's fractured, broken. You take a heavy impact, so yeah, you all gain 1 point of stress. Viper, you catch yourself as you're falling.
Can I do a sweet flip?
Yeah, well,
I rolled an 11.
I think you grab on as you're sliding, and before Chrome Dome kind of slides down with you, you grab on to the collapsing shaft enough to kind of swing yourself down, and then you do a sweet backflip before landing on one of the catwalks. Chrome Dome, you are falling as well. I'm going to say, as your mixed success, you have the option to either impact and take a point of stress as you're falling. Kind of, you catch yourself for a moment, but you feel your grip loosening. You can fall and take the point of stress, or you can angle yourself towards one of your teammates, and one of them will take the point of stress instead.
I think in the interest of exploring some of the mechanics of this game, I'm going to try and land on one of my teammates and raise that stress up.
Okay.
So I will roll randomly to determine who I end up landing on. So 1 or 2 Ramirez, 3 or 4 Rookie, 5 or 6 Petrov.
Funny.
That's a 3, so Rookie.
Excellent.
Okay. You take another point of stress. Okay, so you all land in here. You are now all in the maintenance corridor now.
Sorry about that, Rookie.
It's fine.
Here, let me help you with that. Rookie. Here, we can just do some stretching exercises real quick and just kind of, it will help your back and you squished your organs to the side. And I've got to spend a hold and give Rookie remove 1 stress.
Okay.
That is my last hold.
Yeah.
Professionals, all.
Sorry, I'm new.
We know. I want to sweep the room.
Okay. You do kind of a preliminary sweep of the room. As you're, as you pull out your broom, your light kind of flashes around you. The interior here does not look the same as it was in the concourse. It looks mostly fine. You don't see any of that debris, that substance on the wall. But you do catch, as you wheel around, you watch as some dark shape drops from the ceiling just behind Petrov.
I shoot it!
It's behind him.
It's a square.
Is it the same size as him and directly behind him?
It disappears behind him in that instant that you see it and have the moment to react.
Well, I don't shoot him.
Well, you then see you hear a shriek, and a spatter of blood as a large tendril goes shooting through Petrov's chest, sending a bout of gore across the ground, spraying across all of you. And then there's this massive shriek as this long, kind of bony looking protrusion amalgamation looks like the combined remains of like 3 or 4 different creatures, different humanoids, combined together into this one massive skeletal creature with these large bat wings. And it lets out a shriek as Petrov is being lifted into the air. And Petrov, I'm going to give you the choice because Travis has to go at the break, and I'm going to give him the choice here. When you're mortally wounded, you get 2 options. You get the option to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of the team, or you get the option to turn and join the hive mind, meaning you get to play the rest of the session, but you're leaving. So I mean, you get to just decide what you want to do.
Yeah, I think Sorry, Ryan just posted in chat, Petrov puppet. It just got to me. No, I think Petrov is gonna die, but before he dies, I think with this thing like sticking out of him, he looks at his team as the darkness is closing in on his vision, and he says, "Don't forget to wash your hands." And he collapses.
Oh,
With his heroic sacrifice giving you this hygiene.
Just really good, useful knowledge for if we survive, that'll be great.
Wait, I look at poor dead Petrov, and I look around the team, and I say, "Game over, man."
Yeah.
Do you shoot at it at this point?
yes.
Yes. Now I shoot it.
I think you all open fire on this creature, and it lets out a shriek, and the bat wings beat once, and it, along with Petrov, go like soaring backwards into the darkness of this large maintenance shaft, disappearing. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break for tonight. And
It's been nice knowing you guys.
Yeah.
you were doing so
Oh,
well in your roll. I was
Petrov.
really trying to kill you in narrative. I was like, well, I'm just going to have to make it happen now.
We hardly knew ye.
That was great, though. You also all get +1 forward. So on your next roll, you guys get to have +1.
+1 hygiene.
Because of Petrov's heroic sacrifice. So we'll be back in a few minutes to finish up this game. So everyone stick around. And welcome back to Spook Space. Thank you for joining us for, I don't know. Thank you for joining us in our Wildspace one-shot. Now I'll do the rest of our announcement stuff at the end. But we're playing a little game that I made up. It doesn't really have a title. That's not copyright material. I'll probably post it at some point for people to play. But hope you're all enjoying it. And now back to the action. So we are going to pick up right after the creature flies away with Petrov. I'm assuming after you guys let your hail of laser fire in its direction, you're all sprinting down this maintenance catwalk. You can hear the creature in the distance behind you. You hear this crunching noise. That you don't even want to think about the source of it, but eventually there is an offshoot that leads into like a maintenance access door that you're able to make it through and out of this chamber that you've fallen into. And I think that maintenance door then leads, as you're all continue to run, leads up a set of stairs and then to a door which I think Chrome Dome and you or McDougal, from your interface and your map of the station is the sort of, I think it's one of the central hub locations with a lot of the lifts and access tunnels that lead up to some of them leading up to the bridge. So this is where you want to be. You're able to intersect back with your original course.
Yeah. All right. So this will get us where we need to go. We can take the lift, but something goes wrong there, we're SOL. Could also take the stairs. It'll be slower but safer.
Probably take the stairs.
Copy that. Make our way for the stairs. Move.
Okay. You head to the stairs access, which is probably like maintenance only. Again, you're able to bypass it with your clearance and begin to make your way up probably the 50 flights of stairs to the bridge.
Viper sees literally no problem with this at all.
I'm gonna
She's just going up the stairs.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop my oxygen mask.
Okay.
Oh no, space dad.
Yeah. I feel like I probably would have died otherwise.
Yeah, well, I was gonna have everyone
my lung condition.
make a body roll to try to get up there.
Okay.
So
We all get +1.
You do all get +1 on this
Poor
roll.
Petrov.
You are still inspired by Petrov's sacrifice and forewarnings and proper hygiene.
Oh. What is it, body?
Yeah.
Well,
Good thing for that +1. That put me to a 7.
I'm curious to what it would have been. Yeah, I'm glad I.
I got a 4.
4.
Yeah.
Retro.
Okay.
I got a 10. Thanks, Petrov.
I
Nice.
haven't rolled above a 4.
We know.
Ramirez is doomed to die.
Yeah, this isn't the most exciting stress, but I think this is like just this bodily endurance, this wear on you guys at this point.
Mhm.
Those of you that failed, or I guess rookie, you take the stress for that. I think.
Rookie's probably just like covered in like Doc's blood too,
Yeah.
because they were right there.
Yeah, you were right there. You probably
Looking
still
at your
on.
bloody hands, like I can't wash them. I can't wash them.
And I think what I'm going to give McDougal as I'm not going to give you a point of stress for it, but I'm going to say as your mixed result for this, you're going to have -1 on your next body roll as you're kind of recovering from this stress. But you do reach the top floor where the bridge is, and I think you get to the access door for the bridge, and it is currently this is locked from the inside, so this may take some finagling to get through, unless you want to knock.
I mean, I think I want to look to see if there's some kind of access panel and start trying to hack my way in.
Okay, you can do that. So you go and roll mind with your tech stuff.
Okay.
So
I'm looking back down the stairwell.
that
Mhm.
is an 8.
Okay, so 8, it's a mixed result, so I think you're going to get this done, but it's going to take some time. This is heavily encrypted.
Sure.
Ramirez, you looking back down, I think you put your flashlight over the edge of the railing and peer down into the darkness below the 50 some odd flights of stairs. And I think you begin to hear a noise coming from below. You hear I think a loud thud that sounds like one of the doors that you probably passed getting busted through. And it's dull. It's almost concussive sounding. And then you begin to hear that sort of familiar skittering coming up from the darkness below.
Okay.
And I think just at the edge of your vision, probably about 15 or 10 or so floors below you, you begin to see these small sort of bulbous shapes, like crawling up the sides and the top and the ceilings of the stairs.
The Cairo babies.
They are the Cairo babies. The the Cairo babies. Yeah, that's right.
We can call this child space. All right. Bogey's incoming. And I killed the lamp on my gun. Do we have any like those like nightsticks or like things to like, not like a nightstick, but things that you crack and like there's like the light, you know what I'm talking about?
Glow sticks.
Glow sticks. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do.
All right. I think maybe I'll try to like just like throw them down, try to like onto like some lower floors or something like that. And I kind of like back away and just like do some like call signs to the rest, like to let them know to kill their lamps and that where they're coming up from.
Still
Okay.
another minute as I'm furiously playing the hacking mini game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do lock kicks, like look at it. No.
I'm God damn it. I'm gonna put myself like almost back to back, I think, with McDougal, and just watch out from like right behind him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
you
Ricky's
take
probably close to Ramirez.
okay. So you crack the glow sticks, and you throw a couple to. Do you like drop any down the shaft, or you're just putting them on the like a couple like floors beneath you? Ramirez. That's you, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know what the question was. Sorry.
Do you crack
a couple floors?
You're just putting them a couple floors beneath you.
Oh yeah, just to like, so we can get a little bit of a visual, and who knows, maybe they're attracted to light. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know anything.
So you crack those, you put them there. So Rookie, you're saying you're also taking up a defensive position there. Okay, so the three of you are waiting, weapons drawn, peering out into the darkness as you cut your headlights. And you hear that skittering still coming up the stairs, getting closer and closer and closer as Chrome Dome is trying to figure out what other word has an E, an R, and an F in it. Then you see the first of these creatures kind of skitter out into the light here. And it, again, this like bulbous sort of like sack of flesh that kind of skitters towards the lights and then up the wall a bit. And then you I think you watch as another one comes up behind it, and then a third one. And then you hear a hissing noise as one comes around the bottom of the stairs and then begins to sort of lunge its way towards the three of you. What do you do?
I'll just start firing, I guess. The one that gets before it gets too close, just like see what I can do.
Okay.
Body roll? Or
yeah, go to roll body.
-2. Why am I in the front? Another 4. -2, so 2.
Oh, jeez. You need to stop shooting at things. I think you fire off a shot, and it hits the sack, which explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And this liquid, I think, it kind of sprays out from it and coats like the lower half of your body, and then it detonates, and the liquid just sort of explodes in this with this concussive blast, and Ramirez is launched backwards. I'm gonna have you roll a stress check at this point.
All right.
Hopefully keep rolling low.
I did.
Okay.
I rolled a 6, but I'm assuming that I had a stress before this. Do I add that to this roll?
Yeah, you add your stress to this roll.
Okay, 7. All right, so 7.
And you're adding. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't give you your last stress. So you're at 2 stress now. If you had 1 before, so 8. Okay, so you. On a 7 and 9, you endure, but gain an additional point of stress if able. So you're at 3 stress now, but you do endure the blast that sends you. I think your legs feel very numb.
Okay.
The force of the explosion wasn't enough to like blow you apart or something like that. It was just concussive and sort of blasted you backwards. But yeah, you don't feel great at this point.
Okay, just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Are there more coming?
Just kind of like shooting around, but like
Yeah, there are more coming, and what I'm going to say happens too as part of this, because that was a real bad roll.
Mm-hmm.
A few of your shots hit the ones on the wall, which also begin to explode.
Sure.
And the setting off this chain reaction down the steps, and there is this it grows in intensity, just boom 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 boom, and until there's this just massive explosion, this fireball which comes from beneath you down this airtight shaft. That force, that concussion, you feel it for an instant, and then you feel this as the stairwell begins to depressurize.
Yeah. Cool.
And you all take a sort of a last. Well, no, you have your Atmo thing. So I think you watch you feel this instant depressurization, and you feel yourselves being sort of yanked down the stairs, like tumbling down the steps towards this depressurized breach. I'm going to say, as this is happening and all this chaos is going on, I'm gonna have everyone except. No, I'm going to have everyone make a will check.
Can I suggest that as part of a fireball, maybe like I automatically fail this because of if it burned me or something?
Why are you trying to die, bro?
No,
it's my legs are numb. What am I going to do?
Well, yeah, I'd say you do automatically fail it. You can't gain another point of stress because I think you're at max 3.
Yeah, I'm at max 3.
So I'm going to say that Ramirez is unconscious at this point, and is sort of rolling down the steps.
Oh, heck. Okay.
And is starting to like fall off the gap. Like this isn't like you guys all being sucked down the hole, but there was that depressurization. The wind force is causing you to stumble, and Ramirez's body is kind of falling and being to kind of slide off the ledge and down the shaft.
So are we all? We're all kind of falling, but not.
The rest of you kind of
is McDougal falling over?
I was having you make a will check to see if you kind of maintained your. The rest of you make a will check to maintain your bearings.
Because I want to help McDougal not fall over if possible.
Yeah, this is just to endure the blast and kind of keep your head together during from the explosion and everything else.
Okay, when using our gear, can we roll and then decide if we're going to use our gear, or do we have to decide before we roll?
I think it's in lieu of rolling, so you decide before you roll.
Okay. Well,
did you already roll?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't rolled yet. I'm just deciding because that was actually the stat that I bumped was will, but okay. And Ramirez is flying. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use my backpack.
Okay.
Try to grab loop Ramirez with the
strap. So you're physically using the backpack, nothing that's in the backpack itself. I like it.
Very good.
Yeah, I think you just rip the backpack off of you and you sling it in front of you. I think one of the straps catches underneath Ramirez's arm. That's just kind of limply hanging there, and you catch it just enough, and Ramirez is just sort of dangling there, probably arm dislocated, but is unconscious, and you feel that weight pulling you towards the edge as your hearing is beginning to go out. As this your Atmo isn't meant for fully depressurized environment, and at this point, what did the other two of you roll?
I rolled a 7.
With my modifiers, I got a 1.
Oh
no,
McDougal!
Okay.
I need this team to get up to snuff.
McDougal gets a point of stress, and I think you, as you're having, I think this frustration, and you overload the panel in front of you, which short circuits and just goes dark. And you just, again, the walls around you are sort of, it's dark. This depressurized environment, as the air is continuing to be sucked out, you feel atmosphere growing thin here as the life support system can't fully pressurize the room again. And then suddenly, from behind you, the door slides open to the bridge, and there is a woman on the other side of the door, wearing a Concord uniform that says, "What the fuck are you doing out here? Get in here now!"
Okay, you're just gonna drag Ramirez back up the stairs.
I'm just ushering everybody into the room going, I swear to whatever gods are listening, if we get out of this, you are all going back into training.
you're all pulled back in, and the door shuts behind you, and as you're kind of regaining I think Ramirez is regaining consciousness at this point. The pain in your shoulder aching and throbbing, and the woman locks the door, and she says, I think she pulls out a pistol and she aims it on you, and she says, "Are any of you infected?"
No.
None of you been bit?
No.
No.
All right.
She shoots the pistol. She said, "You're Concord too." All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, welcome back then. I'm gonna need your help.
No shit.
She looks at her and says, "That one's looking a bit rough."
Captain will be fine. He'll be fine. Captain's always gonna be fine.
All right. What unit are you with? Did no one write it down?
No, I know the acronym.
That's fine. You can go with that.
Or the cursed.
Oh, well. I guess if anyone was going to be saving my ass here, then I'm glad it's all you then. And she says, Have you been brought up to? Were you sent here? Are you here to extract me?"
No.
All right. Well then, what can you do? What's your mission? How can I help?
We need to get the data from the bridge and get that out of here. Get it back to HQ so they know what the hell is going on and what happened here.
All right. Then let's get what you need and get out. You have a ship then.
We do, but it also needs refueling, and it's the only operable hangar is a long way from the nearest one with fuel in it. And I'll kind of pop up, my schematics and say, we were in this general area. I'm not telling her exactly which hangar we're in, and just saying, we need to get to this hangar with the fuel.
While McDougal's talking to her, can I keep a real close eye on her to make sure she doesn't do anything weird?
Sure. Make do a mind roll.
Great. Seven?
Okay, so it's a success. Yeah, I
think... She had tentacles or anything?
So I guess
she been bit.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. She does not look like she's been bit.
You're gonna say she does not have tentacles.
She does not have tentacles.
Okay, good. That's good.
She. I think she appears. I mean, she appears to be fine. Otherwise, she does look. I'll give you as your partial success. She does look pretty nervous.
Most people do around me. Okay.
So you bring up the display and you're showing it to her. She says, "All right, if you need fuel, then I can maybe divert some of the, or maybe we can divert some of the fuel lines and get some over to the hangar that you're in. Maybe we can get there and refuel and be on our way. Do you think you might be able to do something with that with the systems up here? I haven't been able to get anything working."
Cracks knuckles. Let me give it a shot. And I think is gonna head over and see what systems are operable. Just see what can be done at all from the bridge.
Okay. Ramirez, is there something you were gonna do? Oh, Cooper is just staring back there. Okay.
But I'm trying to think. Does anyone know anything about the military? Like, if a commander is wounded, do they normally switch it up, like chain of command at that point, or do they normally stay in charge?
I think
Depends
it's
to the
probably
degree.
within their power to do so.
Okay. I think
I'm not the GM, but I think that's your choice.
Yeah, I think it's your call.
I think Ramirez just because his legs are pretty messed up and just trying to is having trouble keeping up, and also it's been just a bad day. Ramirez.
Poor dad.
My average roll is about a 2.5. So he's gonna just tell Viper to take point. Because I think he's also winded and having trouble issuing commands. I don't know. I think he puts Viper on point.
You got it.
And maybe he's gonna. Is there like a crutch? Something in the room that he can manufacture a crutch or something?
Yeah, I think there's stuff in the room that you could use to get yourself up
Bones.
and walking. Yeah. Okay, so you get over to you guys are taking care of that. McDougal, you're at the systems looking for what you can get working again. Go ahead and roll mind, and this is going to be with your tech savviness.
Oh, that's a 7.
7. Okay. Then I think what happens is you go to you find the systems you need to maybe to reroute the fuel supplies and the fuel lines to the hangar that you'd have to be in. But I think in order to do so, it's going to require manual access, and there's a valve that's going to need to be triggered on the ship to manually divert the fuel lines to the hangar that you're in, back in like the maintenance shaft.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be doable, so we're not gonna need a special suit to access the vented hangar, but still gonna have to get to maintenance to divert the fuel.
Alright, how do we get to maintenance?
Well, there's maintenance all over the ship. We fell in one, and that's where the thing got docked. Just gotta find the right one of those areas. And I think I assume I know where it is. It's just gonna be a question of getting there and doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know where it is. It's probably backtracking the way that you guys came from.
Yep. Alright, so that's our way out. Now we need to get what we came here for and start trying to pull up how to get the data core out.
Okay. The data core is I think the data core that what you would need is in the bridge. It's hardwired into the mainframe here, so you can extract it. It's not going to be a huge feat for you to get to what you need, but knowing that once you extract it, the ship is off. The station is entirely offline at that point. I'll say there's also one other thing that comes up at this point on your displays, and I think Ava kind of alerts you that the station, or she kind of puts on your display, she says like alert. I think she says what's the word I'm looking for? Station orbit degrading. Collision in 30 minutes. And she puts up a display which shows the current rotational orbit of the station. As you are, I think this is a result of you interfacing and her kind of pulling that information from the computers. Mm-hmm. And you see that the orbit of the of you all station has perhaps been altered as part of the destruction and whatever the event. And it looks like it is heading on like sort of an impact trajectory towards the Orc Gate.
The fastest route then, McDougal.
Guess we're taking the lift back down.
She's okay. And then the officer that you're with says, one other thing. What's the plan once we're refueled and in the air?
We leave.
And go where?
Somewhere that's not here.
I mean, that's a snowball's chance in hell, but maybe I could jury-rig the Arc Gate for a fraction of a second to get us through.
I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, first we gotta get out of here alive.
All right, then. Well, you'll lead the way, then. I'm coming with you.
What's your name?
See, Officer Janice.
Janice. Kepler?
Yeah?
Stick with Janice.
Okay. So you disengage the data core. And you guys are taking the lift.
I guess.
Especially because the stairs we came up are kind of depressurized and blown to hell and all that stuff.
Thanks, Captain.
That was yep.
That's why Gerber was making that face. In the lift.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you get on the lift, and I think you're able to rig it enough and divert enough power to it to get the lift to move, and you start descending down to the lower levels. Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
Make a stress roll for me.
Wait, that's actually good in this case.
Yep.
I rolled snake eyes again.
Oh, did you? That is actually good in this case.
I literally have not rolled I rolled a 6 once, and then everything else was more or less.
As Ramirez, as you're standing in the elevator and you begin to feel this fever, your leg is aching. And I think you maybe look down on it, probably you have like a bit of fabric that's torn, and you can see there is a breach in your suit from the explosion. And you can see some of your skin is graying and almost like it is almost like it's rotting.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that in my vest for right now.
Okay, I'm gonna have you periodically make stress checks until
yeah, sounds about right.
Y'all reach the bottom of the elevator shaft, and you have a couple of directions you can go. You can go back the way you came to the maintenance area, which is where you need to go divert it. So I assume that's where you're going. Yes, you're holding.
I don't want to really derail, but we crawled through the vents, and then we've been in an elevator shaft for a very long time, and I feel like Viper has had enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Of
I guess
this.
Go ahead and make a will roll for me.
That's a 9.
Oh, well, you succeeded.
Okay. It just felt fair.
You can react how you want. I think I will give you 1 point of stress for it. How about that? For going through it, but I think you're able to maintain your composure enough.
Okay. It just felt fair.
No, that is fair. And you've survived it. We just haven't had many. You've survived the deadly encounters we've had in the cramped spaces, and we're probably gonna have to go through that shaft again. So we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, but she's stressed.
So you guys are heading back to the maintenance tunnels, and heading to the area on your map that is marked for the for diverting the fuel lines. And I think you have to pass the area, or you are now going to the shaft where Petrov was taken, and you know that creature is still out there somewhere in these shafts that was shot a bunch. You head down the catwalks, and yes.
Would I be able to, using still the feed? So, are we still getting the feed from Petrov's camera?
No.
Okay, but is there something I could rig to be
See, right behind you.
Get his like the location from some signal in his suit, maybe?
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I think you could do that. So I think you get a little bit. I think we're gonna go with like the alien isolation. You've got like a radar on, and it's showing your immediate area, and you're getting beeps from everyone in your group that is currently there, but you're not getting anything from Petrov at this point. Right now, there are 4 of you, and there are 4 icons that are coming up. Janice does not have the.
Yep.
And she, I think you both kind of point down. You find the tubing and the valves that you need to operate in order to turn or redivert the fuel lines. They are covered in that goo, that fleshy substance.
Okay.
I think I offer to help cut some of that free.
Okay.
I think what I was going to suggest is taking a flare. So, like, we have the glow sticks. We probably maybe have a flare and trying to use that to burn some of it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could do the 2 of those. So you guys begin to burn and cut some of this substance away.
I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay.
And I'm going to, while we're hanging out, just casually to Janice be like, so you're the only one? Is there anybody else around here?
No, everyone else I was with got taken by the creatures. I'm not usually stationed on this ship. I was coming through on a transport to another sector, and I don't know what everyone else either got killed or ran away in the initial panic, and I wasn't lucky enough to make it out.
So have you seen the thing with wings?
No, there's a thing with wings.
Yeah, it might be around here, so just be ready.
Fuck me running. All right. I'm just gonna stand behind you with the guns then.
I think at this point I'm going, Kepler. Shut it.
All right.
At this point, you hear a beep, 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 as you catch another icon on your radar is now moving towards you.
That will give us, shout whichever direction it's coming from and just be like, eyes up.
Okay. You begin to face the direction that you see it coming from, kind of scanning at your level and up, and you see the creature or the dot continue to approach slowly or faster and faster and faster until it's merely feet away, and then suddenly it's on you. You don't see the creature. You don't see it as a tendril snakes up from beneath the catwalk and wraps a tendril around Kepler's leg. And then suddenly Kepler is being yanked down into the darkness beneath you. What do you do?
Screaming.
I'm going to have Kepler make a body roll.
Okay.
I reach for my backpack.
Oh no. Okay, that one was cool. A body, that's 9.
9. Okay. Kepler is grabs the edge of the catwalk and is holding himself up, but is just barely doing so. It's kind of in this tug of war with the creature beneath you. What are the rest of you doing?
Can I see the tendril at all?
Yeah, I think you can see the creature. It kind of has like is hooked onto the bottom of the catwalk and is like trying to pull Kepler down.
Great, I have a sword. Chop, chop, motherfucker.
Okay. Make a body roll. Chop, chop, motherfucker.
That's my catchphrase. You guys didn't know? 10.
10. Nice. Okay. Well, that's a success. You stab down through the grating and you hear a shriek as you stab into this creature's body. It releases Kepler and descends, and you hear it flapping away in the darkness, and that beeping kind of recedes from you.
Less talking, more watching.
Thank you, Viper.
Okay. You are able to cut away the rest of this material, and you have the maintenance or the fuel line in front of you and within reach. It maybe takes some physical effort, but you're able to divert the fuel line from you to the correct hangar, which I think at this point you do have to divert it to hangar J, which is the one that you're at. And I think as you do, and the fuel line is directed, you hear a clicking from behind you, and Janice is holding a rifle, which she's probably slung off of, I'm probably going to say Kepler.
Yeah.
And says, Hangar J then. All right. You're all just going to stay here for a moment. And I'm going to go leave.
You really don't want to do this.
I think I really do.
It's fine. Let her go. She has to make it to the ship on her own. Well, we've got the 4 of us here.
That thing with wings is gonna come back for you.
She says, I think it's fair to say that it's gonna come for the biggest heat source and come for the most people, so I think I'm, let's say, for a quieter on my own. I've survived my own this long. So, best of luck to all of you.
Cheers.
And I think she goes backing off into the darkness, and then you hear the toot 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 of her running down the catwalk.
I think you guys can hear Viper grinding her teeth.
I think once Janice is far enough away, McDougal's going to be like, remember Ramirez told Ava only let authorized personnel back on? Janice isn't authorized, so we're going to get back to the ship. She's still going to be trying to get on. We pop her. We take the ship. We go on our way.
Are you done talking, all of you? Let's go.
McDougal rolls his eyes and then pushes the route back to the ship to everyone's display.
Okay.
Ricky's probably gonna grab some a piece of pipe or something. Don't have their gun anymore.
Oh wait, I have an extra gun now. Okay, I'm gonna take the gun that I took from that guy a long time ago, and I'm gonna hand it. I'm gonna start to hand it to Kepler, but then I'm gonna if this leaves your hand, I will pick it up and shoot you with it myself.
Maybe you should hang on to it then.
You're gonna need it. I'll hand it over anyway.
She's gonna shoot me. I can feel it.
Oh, you're gonna feel something. Let's go.
Okay, so you all begin to kind of book your way down this catwalk. I need Ramirez to roll me another stress check.
Uh, 7 plus 3.
With a 10. Ramirez, you begin to hang back and lose ground on the rest of your group. You feel this aching pain in your leg, being to travel up your hip into the rest of your body. I think you realize what's happening in this moment as you begin to hear voices in your head that are your own.
All right, everyone. Y'all go on ahead.
What do you mean, Captain?
Get the data core. Get back to the ship. Complete the mission.
What about you? What are you gonna do?
Quarantine protocol. Do what I have to do.
Well, you didn't get bit. You're fine.
I ain't. Stop jawing, head on. Now, damn it!
Yes, sir.
McDougal just grabs Kepler and starts dragging her, or him, and it's just like, come on.
And I think at this moment, too, we hear a loud slamming noise and the whole catwalk begins to shake as Ramirez is behind you, all of you looking back, and you see about 30 feet down the catwalk, this large bone bat-winged creature beginning to stalk its way down the catwalk towards Ramirez and the rest of your group.
Yeah. As is kind of typical for me, guess I'm gonna try to blow myself up.
Oh no!
Go ahead.
Yeah, gonna try. Now, also is typical of me. I never do what I want to do. So if this backfires in some way, that would also be true to form.
No, I think in this moment, because you're making the sacrifice, I think it's just gonna happen, because you're choosing to make this heroic sacrifice rather than become infected and join the illustrious hive mind.
So I'll wait for the thing to get as close as possible, and then then I imagine the scene cuts away and you just hear a boom in the distance, so we don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think you all go running down as you see Ramirez pull out from their pack like a string of grenades, and you realize what's going to happen. You all go rushing down the corridor until you reach another access tunnel, and the door slides open in front of you. Yes, you were holding up your hand like you're...
Why did we get to the tunnel and I turn around towards where Ramirez is and I just salute and then keep running towards the tunnel?
And Ramirez turns towards the creature as it lunges towards you, and I think you just run a hand down the triggers of all of these like plasma grenades and leap towards it. And in this moment, this like small blue circle in the distance appears and then expands outwards rapidly, and then disappears, and then followed by that concussive blast that rattles off of the there we go. That rattles off of the metallic and the gears and the everything in the maintenance corridor as the doors shut behind you. All right. You also get +1 forward at this point. as you continue booking your way as fast as you can, trying to catch up with this with Janice and get to your ship before she does. You reach the opening or the doors to the concourse that goes through the civilian district. And those doors open and you go running back through this familiar territory. You see the corridor which led to where you encountered Jameson. And above you, you hear a roar. And you see a large shape clinging to the side of this building, this apartment building beside you, and then it dislodges and falls, and then boom, slams right next to you. You see, though discolored with these tendrils of black ichor entwined around them, white fur, as a 15-foot tall Yeti stands next to you, infected, these tentacles spewing off of it and out of its mouth, this lifeless body animated in this bestial fury, and this Yeti comes charging towards you, kind of gorilla running across the ground. What do you do?
Run!
Yeah, I think take pot shots at it as we take another path.
Okay, so I think what happens is
I'm gonna put myself in the back, so like shoving everyone ahead of me.
Okay, so here's what happens then. If you're in the back and the others are moving towards you, Jeffrey the Yeti leaps, brings up a massive fist, and goes to slam down towards you. Go ahead and roll plus body.
11.
Okay. You spin to the side, avoiding the strike, bringing out your sword and cutting down through this Yeti's right arm, completely what's the word I'm looking for? Dismembering the limb. The creature lets out another roar of pain in this moment, and leaps backwards. Seeing you all fleeing and continuing to run, you watch as the arm itself that's on the ground, these tentacles begin to stick out from it and snake across the floor, and then reconnect with the tentacles coming out of the severed limb as the arm comes back and reattaches itself, snapping into place. At which point the Yeti reaches over, grabs a chunk of concrete from the building next to it, and then hurls overhand towards towards Kepler.
Great. Another body roll to try to avoid getting smushed?
Yeah.
+1 from the sacrifice.
Oh.
Yeah, you do a +1.
7.
7. Okay. You mixed success. So I think what happens here is you dodge out of the way. Like it's streaking towards you. See it coming from behind you. You dodge out of the way into an open corridor or an open building, and the rubble slams into the opening, blocking off that opening.
Oh no.
The rest of you are cut off from Kepler.
As we continue to run, I'll just Ava, show Kepler an alternate route back to the ship, and just have it so that it pops up a separate path for him to take as Viper and I continue along the path that we were on.
So the two of you keep running. The Yeti is kind of just pounding across the ground behind you. Kepler, you see this alternate route, kind of diverted down a pathway a little bit longer than the rest of your group, but it is there is a way for you to go. So you begin to run that direction. The other two of you continue to fire behind you with the Yeti approaching.
Are we close?
Yeah, you're pretty close.
To our ship? I stop.
Okay.
And I want to try to distract the Yeti for long enough that everyone else can get to the ship.
Okay.
I want to stop in whatever weird hallway I'm in, turn around, and start Tom Cruise running straight at the Yeti. And I want to pull out my magic katana and try to go just right between its eyes.
Okay. You pull out your magic katana and you go running towards the Yeti. You auto succeed on the roll. So I think you leap up towards the Yeti. It's going towards you. Its arms outstretched, going to like sort of clap you in the middle of the air and crush you. But you are too fast and you swipe downwards. I think the arms meet above you, so you do this sort of thunder shockwave around you. And there is a moment, like a pause as you land beneath it, and then suddenly the Yeti splits and its whole body sort of bisected falls to either side.
Great. I turn around and I go, run!
Okay. You all continue to running back down the corridor. I think you all reach the hangar. You turn around and there's a second of pause, waiting, and then you see Kepler coming running behind you as you've been diverted, and then coming around the corridor and making it to meet up with the rest of the group.
There you guys are.
You all run towards the ship. You don't see any sign of Janice.
All right.
Go!
I will, direct them to just be like, plug that hose in there to the ship and start firing it up.
Okay. You all, I think you plug it in. I think you can hear out in the distance, you can begin to hear skittering and more sounds and movement out in the shadows, things that you didn't see when you first landed, but now are immediately visible. You plug in the hose, you fill it up, you get as much as you can, like waiting as long as you can, just waiting for the fuel gauges to reset, and I think it's comfortable as long as you feel like waiting. You finally disengage. You all run onto the ship, closing the doors behind you. You kick on the thrusters and you go shooting out of the hangar. So are you going to try to get back through the arc gate?
I think that's the plan, because otherwise we have to drift through dead space for gods know how long.
Yeah, no, that would be, you die before you got anywhere. Now you still haven't used your thing yet, have you?
Yep.
Are you planning on using that on the arc gate?
Yep. So rushing to get the shuttle within the arc gate, figuring with all the magic and technology involved, not going to be able to do much even with my overclocking, but for the fraction of the second that I can maybe get it to work, I want us to already be in position so when it pops on, we're good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I think it doesn't take very long. And I think you still get that trajectory as like the countdown timer is going off in the corner of your display, and you can see the arcade and the station are kind of listing towards each other slowly, like in this impact trajectory, this impact course for each other. Mm-hmm. And finally, you just kind of like that last desperate, like overclocking everything in your Omni tool, everything you can, diverting any excess power you have from the ship to the arc gate. It flickers for a second, and then there's this just slight, just very faint color that begins to take form, this like very imperceptible, like a bubble forming between the reaches of the circle. And at that point you all launch through the gate, which you feel immediately like this surge of sluggishness passing through it, like the energy isn't quite there. I think your trajectory is probably thrown off. You don't know what sector you're about to be thrown into, but it's somewhere closer anywhere to civilization than you're currently at right now. And in the shuttle, which isn't meant for hyperspeed travel, I think it shudders and there's clicking and there's sparking around you, but finally everything stops and it's peaceful. It's dark, but you're somewhere, and you lock on to the nearest station that your heart probably sinks for a moment as you realize it's probably a week's travel in this station, in this little pod, which you aren't going to have enough fuel to power you the whole way, and you begin to come through the process of what you can ration, and begin to sort of silently drift through space for the next for the next week to get to your destination. But one last thing happens. We cut to a scene back to the station. We see the remains of Petrov. We see the explosion and any remains, I think the belt or maybe the badge like torn off from the jacket that Ramirez was wearing. We also see the body of Kepler. And we cut back to the shuttle where McDougal, you are currently in the cockpit guiding the ship while Viper is sleeping in the bunk, but not sleeping anymore. You just, for the faintest moment, feel a blade cross your throat before you bleed out, sitting in the co-pilot's chair. Kepler slides into the seat next to you, and the illusion fades, as instead we see a familiar face, that of a bard not seen long ago on a distant icy planet. Sima sits in the chair quietly, punches a few buttons. She mutters under her breath, "Damn, Arcturus isn't worth the bounty. But we can make it back home." And as she punches the buttons and the ship continues to drift through Wildspace, the camera pans out into this dark blackness. And that's where we cut.
Oh man, that was good.
I lived!
That was a much lower death toll than I was expecting. I mean, yes, we all died narratively.
All died narratively in the end. No, that was the only way I was going to be able to kill all you guys.
Yeah.
You wouldn't fail any rolls.
Yeah.
Well.
Not me, I lived.
Besides Ryan, who failed every roll.
Thank you, Ryan, for failing all of them.
Is this like karma for Blue? Because I feel like I roll like so good as Blue.
I know.
But yeah.
Ryan,
Awesome.
do you want me to reveal any of the stuff you told me to set up for this, or do you want to just leave it where it's at?
Leave it where it's at. If we,
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about. Well, yeah, we can talk about it in our channel between us. And I think
Yeah.
if people are interested in it, they can talk to us on Discord and GGK's shows.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it.
We can talk about it there. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll plug our stuff some more. So yeah, if you want to talk more about the ramifications of this totally canon episode of Wildspace, please
I
join our
lived!
Discord.
For now.
No,
Yeah, I lived.
you dead now.
No, I'm alive.
Okay.
The overlay says I'm alive, so I'm alive.
Did you mark everyone else dead except for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're
That's
asleep.
not canon.
That's an overlier.
Okay.
Oh,
But thank you everyone for watching. That was a lot of fun.
That was cool.
Yeah, I probably make some tweaks to the system before I put it out there. Make people easier to kill.
Yeah.
With a longer session, I think we could have done it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for
that
sure,
was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for playtesting this and bearing with it.
I made myself dead.
Yeah, thank you. We will be back. I think our next session of one of our regularly scheduled games, other than Cyberscape going up on Wednesday, will be Wonderworld next Thursday. Will be our next live show. I know that we are not doing another Wildspace on the 31st. I think our next session is going to be the 14th, perhaps of January.
That sounds right.
I think that's right.
Yep.
That'd be 2 weeks after the 31st. So we'll be back. So we'll be gone off for the next month, but we'll be coming back for Arc 2, the Arcturus.
I love it.
It works.
of Wildspace. But thank you, Ron, for letting me run this game today.
Yeah. Nugget. That was fun.
Yeah. And we will talk more to you all soon. But until next time, and this is the only time you'll ever hear this during this time slot. Good game, and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Internet.